This week, I want to respond to a greatest moral challenge that comes from a student survey that the Center for Applied Christian Ethics sent out to our student body. Our student fellow, Stephen Preston, designed it and sent it out, and we actually had a very significant response from the students. There were a lot of topics that they raised, and the one I want to talk about today is the one about sexuality. Many asked, what do we do about LGBTQ concerns, or how do we come alongside people, or how do we disagree with people? How do we address this? And there's lots of ways to answer this. So I'm really going to focus on one thing, and that is the matter of disposition in terms of how we address the issue. Because I think that is part of the greatest moral challenge. It's no secret that people have differing views on this. I teach at Wheaton College. We hold the traditional position. The school's not changing that. But holding that position doesn't tell you anything about what our disposition should be toward people in terms of addressing it. And I think this is part of where the moral challenge comes from. I think some people, because of the intensity of the issue in terms of response and discussion, and in terms of things that have happened around public policy, I think a lot of times people are responding so strongly, so viscerally even, that Christians get caught up in that. They're responding viscerally, they're responding with intensity. And the thing that gets lost amid the response is almost as if we're talking about an issue that floats above the people who are involved in the issue. And the people involved are not just people who might identify one way or the other in terms of being LGBTQ, but the people who are participating in the conversation itself. I think that's where part of the great moral challenge lies. There are a lot of Christians who may say, I hold the traditional position, or some may say they hold the affirming position, but the way that they respond to each other is often, again, quite intense. I think the key for us in terms of addressing this moral challenge really has to come out of the second grace commandment that Jesus gives us, where he says, love your neighbor as yourself. And here, I think we have to ask ourselves this question. How do we want someone to respond to us around an issue that might be tense, or an issue where there might be strong disagreement? I don't think that strong disagreement gives anyone a reason or a sufficient rationale for thinking, it's the truth that matters. Who cares what my disposition is? And if I've got to be mean about it, as long as I'm standing for truth, that's the thing that matters. I disagree with that. I think the important thing is that if we are standing for truth, however we're talking about that, that truth needs to be clothed with our love for neighbor. How would I want someone responding to me if they are disagreeing with me? Do I want them yelling at me? Do I want them being mean at me? Do I want them making a whole series of assumptions about me on the basis of where I stand on one particular topic? I don't think anybody wants that. What I think we need to do is we need to be able to be people who say, I want to treat a person with respect. I want to treat them with dignity. I want to honor them as a fellow human being made in the image and likeness of God, and a person that I care about, a person whose good I care about. If that's what I'm doing, then even if I respond with perhaps some strength in terms of my words at times, or in terms of my nonverbals, in terms of my gestures, or even in terms of the kind of argument I'm making, then what I'm going to do, even with all that, I want to try to clothe that in a way where what comes through as loudly as what I say is the fact that I really care about the person with whom I'm speaking, that I really want to treat them well, and that I really would, after this conversation, want to try to have a positive, constructive relationship with that person. Now, on this issue, sometimes the intensity of the debate, people aren't interested in relating with each other so much afterwards. But I think in the long run, the question is this: do I care about people as people, and do I want to relate to them that way, no matter what the issue is? Do I want to do that, or do I want the issue to give me reason to say my commitment to truth actually gives me permission to treat you not so much like a human, to treat you not so much like a neighbor? I don't think that's what a Christian should do. But it is indeed a moral challenge in terms of what we ought to do, because sometimes it's so intense. Sometimes the temperature is so high. None of that means we still don't have the imperative to love our neighbors. We do have that imperative to love our neighbors. And because we do, and because we want to seek for them what we seek for ourselves, then I think we must say, yes, I will state my position, but I also want to do it in a way where a person will have to say of me, at least in the long run, they can say, they may have disagreed with me, but I can't deny that they really cared about me.